Good morning, everybody. How you doing here? It's 7 a.m. 7 a.m. in Chicago. A couple things moving around here this morning. We got the futures a little bit lower here now, coming back down from what I see here. We'll take a look at the SPY, right off the bat. 743.61 now. So yesterday's day was trying to hammer back up on the day there, but the inside day. All right, so we'll see what that takes us. But right now we're at 743, so we're a little bit closer to breaking to the downside. All right. And that looks like on the overnight, we got down to we got all the way down to 742, 742.84. So that would still keep us inside day. All right. So SPY a little under pressure here this morning. All right. We'll go to the Qs. Real like tech is really um, so tech here, same thing with the inside actionable today coming in. I'm sorry, week. This is day. Okay, sorry about that. Um, so coming back down now, shooter down on the day on Qs with the insider. So we had the hammer up and the shooter down. All right. Now it doesn't seem as though we do have some more pressure coming down here at 700 spot 31 right now. So it looks like we're going to take day down here. All right. And then our next move to the, let's pull that one up here a little bit bigger. All right. So coming out of this mess that we're in here, coming back down, this is a shooter down. And right now we're trading at 700 spot 27. All right. So we're going to be inside this guy right here. All right, so we'll see what this guy's got something to say about that. All right, so we'll be inside this day. That's what we'll be fighting on the Qs today. All right, I'll go back and look at it, the SPY, the same way here so you can see the real look here. All right, with the hammer up and the shooter down, and we're currently trading at 743. All right, so we're taking into this guy. So we're gonna be fighting with the three day. All right. So moving back down, I'm gonna put more pressure on our month and more pressure on our week. All right. So let's see what this is all gonna come into here. All right, so here we are right now at 743.70. All right, so we're right in this area right here. We would try to be going back up into side to 2 days ago. All right, there is your SPY. All right, diamonds, another one. Weakness across the board with the big shooter down. We only got a couple of sectors that are doing well, and I'm smelling that inflation again because we got energy on the move here this morning. So that is what we got going on there. And the rest of our sectors kind of fell off here a little bit to who's worse and to who's better. We're going to decipher that. All right. So 518.58. All right. 518.58. We're breaking that day down. Okay. That's 521 yesterday's lows, 521.02. We are down into this 518 area, all right, where we're trading right now at 518.50, all right. So we're a little bit lower right inside here, guys. So this would be our next move to the downside would be 518.15 if you want to come down and break that. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of a gapper down here. All right, unless things change here, we're going to be opening around this 518.64 number, which is going to be somewhere in here. All right, somewhere in here, I should say. All right, so 518.60s. All right, right around in here is where we should be opening. We were looking to take that down, and then we would look to break down to 517.23. The diamonds have pulled back, boy, I tell you that. All right. So there's your diamonds on your bigger picture here. You see the shooter down on the quarter, and you see the shooter down on the month. All right, you know where we're at here right now, so we'll see what's going to happen here. The week is weak. All right, that's all I can say about it right now in the week. It's pretty weak here. All right, so we'll see what comes of the rest of this week. It's going to be interesting just to see how we can get out of here today. All right, so that's your dailies coming back down, and this is where we're trading right now, 518.58. You know where we're trading. All right, so futures a little under duress. All right, I got to say that. Right, there's your Nasdaq down 248 bucks this morning. All right, so lower there, and that's really only 0.86% to the downside, but they're down. All right, we'll check the YMs, which is the Dow. All right, still continuation to come down on the month with the shooter down on the quarter. All right, and right now we're trading at. We would be opening this morning. If we were to open right now, we would be down about $340 on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. All right, so under pressure there as well. And then we'll look at the ESs on the SPX. Where are we right now? 74.96, 74.96. So we're back down here in this area. We're coming down to the nitty gritty down here, boy. I tell you that. All right, maybe there's some support level around this area at 74.71. We might have a little bit of a support area as we see. We'll see if anything starts to firm up there. All right, but right now 74.95, 74.95. That's where we are right now on the S&P 500. All right. What's moving this morning? Energy's moving here this morning. All right, XLE, more war, and more war we'll get. All right, so coming the 3 week, we talked about this yesterday. Then 3 week is holding up nice. All right, put up a hammer, kind of put up a doji there yesterday on the day, kind of stuck in the middle. Not a lot of indecision there. All right, but 60.24 now, higher now this on the overnight here. We just made a high on the overnight at 60.24. All right, 60.24 is taking day up, guys. So we're going to have a little bit of a gapper here, somewhere around this 60.20 area up here. All right, so look for a gapper up on XLE. I don't know. We chase this stuff. How bad is it going to get? I'll tell you one thing. If they don't start to resolve things, it will get worse. All right, in my opinion. All right, they really need to button this thing up. There's so many pieces moving around right now, so dangerous. All right, so energy's better here this morning. OIH is a little bit better here this morning. The drillers with a shooter back down on the day, and here they come. All right. 393.34. That's a shooter down that's going to be taking day back up here right now as we see it. All right, but we'll wait to see what really happens when we open here. We're still an hour away, an hour and a half away. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. These things can move around. All right, so OIH has got the big outside week here, so look for that. Could lead the charge to higher prices on OIH. All right, we got Schlumberger, Slob, higher this morning now. Put up yesterday's highs were 47.87. All right, right now we are trading at 48.30ish, 48.32. All right, 48.32. So that's going to take day up. All right, you're going to get a little bit of a gap there, about 48.30. We look to try to break out this, get up there, 48.74. All right, so we're looking to triangle out all this back up to here, and then you can start to see what's going to happen when we start looking at some of those numbers. All right, so Schlumberger better this morning, Halliburton a little bit better this morning with the 2-1 day. All right. 2-1 day looks like that one. Yesterday's highs were 33.82. We're trading at 33.43. Looks like we'll be inside day on this one. All right, so Halliburton cooling the jets a bit. Schlumberger a little hotter. All right, so they're not running away with anything, even with XLE. They're not ripping to the upside, but you got a couple stocks that are moving around here. Chevron 196.30 from 192.98. That was the last sale. But the high yesterday was 193.70, and right now we're trading at 196.30. We're going to be getting another gapper here. All right, and we're going to be opening somewhere around this 196 area. All right, so look for a 2 up there on Chevron to start the day. And then we got Exxon. All right, Exxon is better here. Exxon kind of starts to dip back down on the overnights. Just made a high there at 157.71. All right, so that's going to be about $3 higher. Looking for another gapper up a little higher there. All right, and then I will look at that ConocoPhillips. This thing, man, 121.60 now. Shooter down yesterday, so it came into some selling pressure at the end of the day, as you can see here on Conoco. And here they are right back up to greet you, saying good morning, which is, all right, 119.74 was the high yesterday. We're taking that up. That's another gapper upper on your ConocoPhillips. You're getting where I'm coming from. All right, energy. Uh, Energy showing some strength. Okay. Now, when we look at our sectors, okay, for the week, energy still number one. Okay. And then we look at. I'm just looking at the week now. I'm not going to talk about the month. All right. So yesterday day was a huge day for the energies, up at 1.7%. That's not bad. That's pretty good, nice move to the upside. Industrials were up a little bit yesterday. They were trying, but all the sectors, man, they're just like the ones that are green aren't even moving. Okay, we should see some staple love here, but we're not even getting that right now. So we'll wait and see. All right, we'll see how it happens with these diamonds coming down. Everything's going to be under pressure, and then we're going to see who pops up when they start to firm up, if they firm up. All right. So ConocoPhillips, we'll leave it at that one. All right. Now tech, what do we got? Well, they're all like really close to where they closed. Cruvi, all right, down that back to 82. All right. So here's your day. Right, was up to 85.71. It was low as 79.66. Guess what? You're going to be inside day 82. All right, 82.80 right now. All right, looks like an inside day for Crew V. Intel. All right, Intel. Shooter back down on the day and looking to open around 103 and a quarter right now. All right, 103 and a quarter. We're going to be inside. All right. Yeah, because to break down yesterday's lows, we'd have to go down to 101.48. So we're going to be inside day of this shooter coming in today. Look at a lot of them are just stuck inside day here. All right, Micron. Micron with the inside day again, another actionable inside. Trying to hammer back up on the quarter, trying to hammer up on the month. They've been really trying. Just can't seem to get a gain and hold a gain. That's, I think, what's really the biggest problem we're having here. All right, so the weeks came down, tumbling down here, and now you're trying to get this 2-1, maybe possibly to look to see if tech can get going here. Qs are under pressure here right now, trading at 743.20. All right, that's down $4 from where we were yesterday's close. All right, so Micron coming back down here, trading at 970.11 right now. So 970.11 is going to be inside day. All right, 970. This thing's hard to get in there, man. There's so much price action in there. All right, so you're going to be inside day on Micron. All right, so Micron, that's going to be another one that's stuck inside the day. We look at Advanced Micro Devices, AMD. Sorry, I don't know how Walmart came up there, but AMD. All right, so Advanced Micro Devices. We something coming up on our squawk box here. I'm just trying to pick up what they're saying here. Talk about something here. Something maybe here, but it doesn't look too much. All right, so AMD try to pop back up here again on that overnight, got up to 558.94, but they have pulled back from there. All right, so 549 now, guys. Inside day on the AMD. All right, SNDK. Got to talk about the big guys, right? SanDisk trading at 1594 right now. Um, this one's a little better here. Still near the, but trying to get out of the highs would take 1628. So you get the feel there from what that's going to take. We'll see about that. Yesterday was 1628.40. Another one inside day. All right. So a lot of these tech stocks, I got Snowflake is a little bit better this morning. There was some news out on Snowflake, so this one's moving up here. Now we're going into the, we look at the semis and then we look at the cloud guys. All right. So the cloud fares, a little better here for Snowflake this morning, closed at 267.80, trading up $3 higher from the yesterday's highs, which were 271. Okay, so we're up about $2 higher here, trying to hold up on a 2 day up. That would be a gapper up on the day on Snowflake. IBM is like unchanged, not doing anything. Closed at 205. It's trading at 201. It's going to be inside day. Am I right? The low yesterday was 204. So we're taking IBM is taking day down. SAP. There's another one, 147.45, 149 coming back inside. That one's going to be inside. Are you getting where I'm coming from? We're either inside or and most of them are just really inside. All right. So, and a lot of them are ones for days too. All right. So, we'll go Salesforce, and I'll get off this. CRM. CRM down day yesterday at got down as low as 162.21. We're back into 164.50. We'll see if anything comes out of that. That's another one inside day. Oracle has just been beat down, and I don't know when it's going to get better. It's starting to try to turn the corner on the week here with just a punishment coming down. Right, month still down heavy, week still down heavy. No hurry on Oracle at all. All right, Oracle really took a beating. All right, that's kind of where our tech world is right now, and believe it or not, for the week, they're up there with some of our materials, which have kind of cooled off there too. So we're looking at some. I'm not gonna not too much. Gold is lower this morning here now. All right, with a shooter down yesterday, with the gapper up, gave it up, coming back down, and we closed at 379.12. The high was 382.20, and we're trading at 373, coming back down. All right, so we're going to take this whole day out, and now we're going to come down and start to try to go fill that gap, which we're going to do. So that's going to come down and fill that gap. Gold coming right back down. Ooh, boy, I tell you, the guys that ran up and bought this thing, ouch. All right, silver, SLV. What are we here this morning? 52.74 from 53.92. This is another one. Shooter down on the day and breaking the day and coming back down lower, going into the 2 day, coming back down. So metals surrender completely for the most part. All right, and then we'll go real quick here. XLP again. Like I said, if the complete market starts to move to the downside, staples will kick in. But if it gets really ugly, they'll go down with the rest of the markets. All right, so be aware of that. If you're in these stocks, I still think they're going to be better down the road, and I've been saying that. So sit tight. I'm looking at the AMD. I'm looking at Crew V right now. Intel's driving them down right now. All right, so tech still down. I got the futures breaking some more here to the downside now. Let's finish it up. What did I want to talk about else on that? The healthcare still holds in pretty good. I think this group still is hanging in there pretty nice. It did surrender yesterday on the XLV, and they came back in. And wherever they're trading at right now, 159.66, you're going to be inside on the day on healthcare. And then we'll take a real quick look at the banks. XLF was got an inside day coming in today. And what are we, 55.90? We're near yesterday's lows. We'll see if XLF can break them back down to the downside. We got the QQQs breaking here, folks. All right, now we're back down to 698 coming down. All right, good boy, good boy. All right, so now we're looking at 698 bucks on the Q. So we're fighting in this day now. All right. If we break this 686, we're gonna have to look right. Look at that. All right. So where are we? 698 right now. All right, so we're in this area right in here. We're still fighting through this guy, and that low would break 695.51 if we break here, and then we make that move down to the 686 area, and we might have a decent support level there. I wouldn't say that right now, but there might be a place there. I'm trying to get a matrix number to see. But with this moving down business, we're going to see how this starts to play out. All right. So there's your cues right now. Just kind of died out on us again here. Let me see where the SPY just dropped to as well. All right. Now we got the SPY. SPY's coming back down here this morning. Again, lower than we were talking when I first came on. So still on the day. We're taking that out for sure. We're taking out that day. Our next stop would be 741. We're close to breaking that. 741.39. We would take down all this business and try to get back down to that low at 740. Whew, they're a little under pressure. All right, we'll see if anything gets better there. And then I'll finish it up real quick, Diamonds, with one more look because we just had some more movement to the downside. All right, Diamonds now 517.58, 517.58. Let me pull up DIA on there. What do you say? All right, Diamonds coming down, shooter down day, man. That's telling you something right there. It looks like it's going to be going into force. All right, breaking there at 518. Next stop would be this guy, and that would be looking at 517.04. We are only about 40, 50 cents away from that. That is it. All right. There's no reason to go after anything in this market right now. The energies are hot, little too hot maybe. You don't know because it's just it's too much macro, too much macro. They'll be talking next week. They'll be talking about a peace deal again. All right, so we got some erratic markets right now, guys. So sit tight, man. All right, and we'll see how things start to shake out. I'll definitely come in at halftime today, just because what's cooking here. All right, be good, be good.